Hi everyone, this is Brad DeRoche. Welcome back to day 2 of 30 Days of Guitar Technique. I'm glad that you're still with me. In today's lesson, we are going to cover guitar positioning, how to hold the instrument properly. Now, what I've found in the course of many years of teaching is that guitars tend to have 3 primary problems when it comes to positioning the guitar properly. The first problem that most guitarists have is that the guitar is not high enough on their torso. It tends to sit too low. The second problem is that the guitar neck for most students and most guitarists tends to sit too low. So when we think of the angle of the guitar, if this was a 0 angle and this was a 90-degree angle, most of us need to have the guitar neck at about a 45-degree angle to the floor. All right? So bringing the instrument up on the body, having the guitar neck at a 45-degree angle, those are 2 of the biggest problems. And then the third problem that's maybe not as big an issue but also comes up in many players is that the guitar is not centered on the torso. If you judge the sound hole as being the center of the instrument, which it is pretty much if we were to draw a straight line through the instrument here, the sound hole being at the center needs to be roughly centered on our body. What I've found is that most players tend to push the guitar quite a bit off to the left. And when we do this, it really moves the left hand and the right hand off to this side of the body. We're no longer centered. And what we're really trying to do is just to bring the guitar back so that we are centered when we play. So the 3 things that we want to look at. Number 1, getting the guitar high enough on our torso. So make sure that it's about in the middle of your torso here. Number 2, make sure that the guitar neck is at about a 45-degree angle to the floor. That tends to work best for most people. And thirdly, make sure that the sound hole is in the center of your body. So we're going to try and accomplish those 3 things in our practice today. Now, how to do that using these different apparatuses. So historically, there are many different devices people have come up with over the years to try to do those 3 things. The first and most common is the footrest. All right, so a footrest, of course, brings your leg up into a position where basically what it does is it elevates your leg so that when you sit the guitar on your leg, the guitar is up now in the middle of our chest. All right, so this works pretty well for most people, but there's a downside to using the footrest, and that's that we're no longer in good seated posture. Having elevated this leg, this one usually drops off to the side. It's very hard to balance our body, balance the sit bones, etc. when we're using a footrest. The advantage of a footrest for me is that it's very stable. I do like how the guitar is positioned against my body with a footrest, and I also really like the stability. It feels very solid because I'm able to pin it between 4 different points of contact, one being my chest, the left leg, right leg, and then the forearm. So those 4 points of contact really help to solidify the guitar. So for me, this works quite well. Now, for many other people, especially if you're tall, the footrest doesn't work so well. So I'm going to show you a couple of different devices that people have come up with over the years to use, and there are others besides this. But one of the more common ones is a dinaret cushion. Now this cushion is slightly beveled, you can see that. So what it's going to do is to actually angle the guitar upward and also bevel a little bit. So now what this does is it allows both of our feet to be flat on the floor and brings the guitar up to the center of our chest. It works quite well. It's a lovely device. All right, so the downside for me with this one, it's sort of ungainly carrying this thing around out on stage. Hi, I'm here to play guitar. But you know, it does work pretty well. It's quite discreet. Color and all that's hard to see, so it's a great thing. So it's called a dinaret cushion. Another thing that people have come up with over the years are these different kinds of devices that use suction cups. This one is called the getano. I don't know if you can see that very well. What the getano does, sticks on the side of the instrument here. So it's got different suction cups on it that stick, and then this kind of works in the same way as a dinaret cushion, but it elevates the guitar this way. So now, and it's adjustable, you can put it in different places on the guitar. So if you need the guitar to be a little bit higher, you put the dinaret down, or excuse me, the getano down lower. If you need the guitar to be a little bit lower, you bring it up here and so on. anyway, this device works quite well. It keeps the guitar nice in its angle. It's centered on my body. I've got about a 45-degree angle, and both feet are flat on the floor. So this is great for posture. I use these things to practice sometimes. Don't tend to use them as much in performance just because I'm afraid of them slipping, even though they really don't. Anyway, so there's one. And then there's another thing here called an Ergoplay. An Ergoplay is similar to the getano, but it's maybe a little bit more stable. This device attaches both on the top here of the guitar, the upper bout, and on the lower bout. And so it creates this nice bracket here. And these are actually not very easy to see on your body when you're playing. So they're kind of invisible. And to me, this is a little bit more stable than the getano is, but it's bigger and it's maybe a little clumsy. So this is another great way to elevate the instrument without having to elevate your left leg. So this thing is called an Ergoplay, and there's several different models of Ergoplay. I can't remember which one is which, but anyway, you can sort that out. If you want, most of these things are available through a business that I shop with regularly. They're called Strings by Mail. So you can check that out. And then one more. This piece of plexiglass here is actually a pretty fantastic design. It's got a little piece of foam here that goes around the leg, and then it has 4 suction cups here that attach to the back of the guitar. So what we do here is basically just put this thing on your leg and put the guitar about where you'd want it to be positioned, press it up against the body of the guitar. These 4 suction cups are really strong, and then it just sits like this. So this device is called the Guitar Lift. There are several different sizes. This is the short one. There's also one that's longer, so you could bring the guitar up higher if you needed to. Guitar Lift, it's made in Germany. A fairly simple device, but works really well. This to me is maybe the most natural feeling of all of these different devices other than the footrest, and tends to work really well in bringing the guitar up high enough on our body. And I've had several students who are quite tall use these with great effect. So bottom line in this video, what we're really trying to do is to do 3 things. We're trying to bring the guitar up higher on our torso. We're trying to have it at a 45-degree angle to the floor and keep it centered on our chest. So in your practice, whatever type of device works best for you, make sure you sit well. That was guitar lesson number 1. And then today's lesson was try to make sure you keep those 3 ideas in mind: up on the middle of the torso, 45-degree angle, and centered on your body. If you do those, you'll probably be sitting well and have the guitar positioned very well. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you next time.